Hello, everyone, and good evening to welcome to the second episode of Have You Been Rogered? This is something. It's a video series that we started so that people can get to know our regulars, the people that come to our entrepreneur social every month. We are here in Covent Garden in B1, which is the venue for our monthly socials. And we're here with Karen Longwith.
Hello, hi.
Hello. How are you, Karen?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. Thanks.
No,
Thank you for having me.
No, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And it's actually I was looking forward to to have a chat with you because I think people will be very interested in you and what you do. A very interesting person.
Pretty eclectic life I've had.
So, do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself? You know, where you come from, what you've done in your life, and so on.
Okay. I'm Irish, born and raised in Ireland. I've been living over here in the UK for 33 and a half years now. And I live in Brighton, and I have a property management business that's based in Gatwick, where I run short-term accommodation, so serviced accommodation. And that's what I do that's what I've been doing for the last three and a half years now.
For those of our listeners that they're not into property, service accommodation is where basically you turn properties into short-term accommodation
that's
for
right.
tourists, businessmen, and
that's
some
right.
people that need a property for a few days. Or for a few weeks, but they don't want to stay in a hotel.
Yes,
or they want the comfort
exactly.
of a.
It's a home from home.
Yeah,
it's a home from home. So they will stay in a house or an apartment with all the facilities of a home instead of in a hotel. Because when you're staying for a long period of time, staying in a hotel can be pretty dreary and depressing.
I know. I've been there.
So yeah, I like to offer my guests the alternative.
So from that, your day job, basically you're a homemaker, but I know that you're a lot more than that.
I am indeed. But, it stemmed from property. Mm-hmm. And it was actually property that where I first heard of the wealth dynamics and of Roger. And I took my wealth dynamic test. And I have to tell you this, Luca, it's quite a funny story. Up until I left my full-time job, I worked in finance for many years. I started training as an accountant a long time ago when I first came over here. And so all my jobs in corporate have been around finance. And I found I was moving around a lot from different jobs because I got very fed up and I was struggling in the job. So I had a lot of jobs and I used to think it was the people I was working with. And so I would move on. And then I did this wealth dynamic test, and I'm a supporter.
As you can see, I don't know if it comes through on the video, but we all
supporter.
Wear a tag with our names and a profile.
And when I took the wealth dynamic test, it said never work in finance. So that kind of made me understand why for the 20 years I was working in finance, I was miserable and never got on with the job. It wasn't the people, it was the actual job. So yes, that's how I got to know about wealth dynamics and Roger. And so I built up my property business. I did a lot of training, and through that, I started exploring other things and a lot of self-development. And it took me on a path down towards Feng Shui. So I was introduced to Feng Shui probably about 2 years ago. And I had a Feng Shui consultation in my home, and I started implementing the advice that I was given, and I saw results, and I thought, oh, this is very interesting. And so I decided to study it and train myself.
Can you explain to our listeners what Feng Shui is?
Feng Shui is really, it's about harnessing the energy in your home or your work environment to create the best possible outcome for you in terms of health, wealth, well-being and relationships. It's about understanding how energy flows through your house. If the energy is not flowing through your space, you will have trapped energy, and that will have an impact on how we feel, how we act, what we have in our lives. And it's about understanding how to release that, how to use that energy in order to create a better life for ourselves.
Okay, and how do you do that in a traditional house, let's say? In
a traditional house, it's very simple. It's all to do with compass direction, and you have to work out which direction the house is facing in, or your office. This is really good for business, and then work out through the system of Feng Shui where are the best places in the house for you to spend time. If you want more money, spend time if you want better relationships. It's not about what many people think of having trinkets and ornaments and things around your house and placing stuff. And it's not really even about using colors. It's more about using certain spaces in your house. Because when you think about it logically, we all have in order to be an equilibrium, there has to be a balance. So there will always be yin and yang, good and bad. So it's the same in a house. There's yin and yang, and there's an equal measure of good and bad areas and chi energy in the house. So it's about finding out within that space where the best energy is and how to activate that, how to actually use that and bring it into your life, and how to not activate the bad energy. Because we'll all have, it's all yin and yang. I guess it's like an example could be, when you walk into a house, sometimes you find, I really like this space. It's really nice.
Sure.
I could just sit and chill here all day. That's the energy. And there are other places you go into and think, oh my God, where's the front door? I need to get out of here quickly. Because you there's something about it that you feel that it's a bit like, oh, I don't want to be in here. And so that's probably the best way I can describe it. You'll feel it. You'll feel
Definitely.
it.
So it's a lot as well about rearranging the space as well.
It can be, but you don't always have to. And, people also think wrongly that they have to move the furniture all over the place, or they have to swap the beds and have the beds. And it's not about that. A lot of the time, sometimes it's better if you can move it, but if you can't, you just work with what you've got. There are ways to work with where you are. The key factor though for Feng Shui is clutter. The less clutter you have in the house, the better Feng Shui you have.
Yeah, because the better the energy has got more room to circulate.
Clutter in a house stops the flow of chi, or clutter in an office or on a desk. Even as it can be as micro as your desk. You can Feng Shui your desk. And, if you've got a lot of stuff on your desk, it's going to be very difficult for the energy to flow, for you to be able to focus. So that's what I do now, and I love doing it. And I've had some amazing results from doing things. I've been able to call things into my life that I'm like, wow, really? Did that really work? I'm like, oh my God.
Give us a couple of examples. Come on. Come on. Make it more real for everybody.
Okay. All right. I'll give you one example of at a bit in my business. I really wanted to get this client, a big client, and they're local to my area, and I knew that they would be needing needing accommodation, and it's a new company, and it would be a regular thing. So I had been targeting this client for months and trying to find out who I needed to speak to, and I couldn't get through to anybody. So I I consulted with my feng shui master and just to see what is the best thing for me to do. So he told me what to do, and I did it straight away. 3 days later, I had an email from the company saying, can we meet? I'd like to have a look at your properties to see how, if we can work together. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow. Amazing.
And that was, I mean, we're still in negotiations, but if that comes through, that's a huge contract for me. And on a lighter note, I was told how to call a partner into my life. And so I did what I was told to do. And, we work in very specific degrees. It's, 15 degrees, in the compass. So this was a very small, specific area within my living room. And I put a photograph up of some actors that I admired that I thought, maybe...
Peanut boys, yeah, come on, let's be honest.
Okay, look, come on, one can dream.
Okay.
So I did this, and 5 days later, I started communicating. I was on an online dating site at the moment. I started communicating with somebody who was the doppelganger of one of the actors I had on the frame. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is just insane. And it didn't work out, but, we dated for a while, but, and then I took the frame away and I thought, okay, I'm just going to put that on hold for a minute. But yeah, there were just a couple of the things that have worked for me. And it's, I would say, think about one thing you want to work on, one thing you want to improve, because feng shui is a goal-orientated practice. If you don't know what you want, it's going to be harder to get it to work for you. So you have to know what you want to achieve. So if you know what you want to improve, whether that be your finances, your relationship, your health, you can work on that and just work on how to improve that. One thing at a time.
How so? Now, do you use this, with this feng shui as well as do you use with the businesses, with people? Use it do you become a consultant now?
Yes. I do consultations now, and I help people to find to get what they want to achieve in their lives. So whenever somebody needs to improve something, I can come in and help them do that.
Fantastic. So, I mean, if you don't mind giving us your contact, we'll put the link.
Absolutely.
A way to contact you, and together with this video. So when you are watching this video, if you look at the message that comes with the video, or in the comments, and you'll find all Karen's.
Yeah. Well, it's a Mizar Feng Shui. That's Mizar.
What does it mean?
Mizar is actually a star from the constellation of the Plough. Do you know the Plough?
Yeah.
The Big Dipper?
Yeah.
And according to the Chinese metaphysics and astrology, we all have a star. And my star is Mizar. And the Mizar star represents union. Like it's almost like it represents marriage, because it's right next to another smaller star. And so I used Mizar because I wanted to unite my property business along with feng shui, because it's hugely powerful, and I wanted to bring that. So I wanted to marry the two, basically. So that's why I called it Mizar Feng Shui.
Well, fantastic. That's really good. I mean, it's been really, really interesting. It's always lovely talking to you anyway.
Thank you,
in
Luca.
a social environment, but just hoping that this came across as well on video, and people see how nice you are, and they may want to contact you for.
Thank you. Yes.
A little bit of help.
Yeah, I'm here to help, and and for those who are doubters and might think it's all a bit woo-woo, I just invite you to open your mind, just be open, and to explore something new. I get it's not for everybody, but sometimes I think we go around thinking that our way is the best way. And we're not always open to learning about something new, especially if it's something we don't understand, or especially if it's something you can't see and touch. But I would just invite anybody who is feeling a little bit skeptical to just maybe try it on, play with it, open your mind. And
ladies and gentlemen, due to unforeseen circumstances, it is necessary to ask you to leave the building immediately using the nearest available exit or as indicated by the staff.
oh dear.